I'm Adam Steigert. I'm the founder of Death Tone Picture Studios, and I directed the most recent film, A Grim Becoming, and Ominous Alien Invasion, which is now becoming not human.
I'm Jason John Beebe. I am an actor, writer, and director, with the emphasis on actor. And I am actually one of the stars of Ominous, the film that Adam just mentioned, and been doing this for quite a while.
Me and Jason, came out for a casting call, isn't it? That's how it started for,
I think so, for
Ominous Alien Invasion.
Yeah.
And he wanted this really different role than what he took. He took the complete opposite role. Jason initially auditioned for Blake, and we didn't even let you leave. We didn't even really want you to read for Blake. Remember, we were like, let's have you read for Marcus. Oh my God, another film, Mark. And you know, you're like, I'm not prepared and everything, and we're like, yeah, so what? Let's see what you can do. Mm-hmm. And you were pretty damn good at it. And you know, a lot of times we talk about how physical that role is. Yeah. And I mean, you know better than I because you were living it.
It was very physical. I mean, like, it was rough. Yeah. Like a lot of those, like the fight scene with the Nemesis, you know, getting whacked up against the car and everything. I really did dent the car in a couple spots.
Yeah. And, was that the most physical experience you had on a movie?
On a movie, yeah. I've had some really good fight scenes like recently, but those were all choreographed. You know, you're not making contact. Like,
and those were days before. Those were like they practiced those days before they even got to set.
Well, yes, we did, but we practiced them on mats. So the final day, it was a car.
It was like, it was like, take those mats away, and we're done with this.
And yes, and Adam did take the mats away during part of it.
I'm so, you know, I look back at that, and you know, the whole saying, hindsight's 20/20 nonsense. And I'm sorry. We have we were doing Grim Becoming, and we have a new mat.
Yeah. That
you would have loved. Unfortunately, we didn't have it for Ominous, but you would have loved this mat.
Yeah. But I don't regret anything. My only regret is that, you know, the fight scene is so short. Because, you know, when you're involved, you know how long it's taken to film, and then, you know, it translates to a 30-second fight scene.
I would have, if I would have done anything different with that fight scene, we're talking about that in Ominous, I would have done it in like a 3-part series where you see a fight sequence where you're here, and then the fight sequence like leaves here and moves to there, and then it goes over to there.
Kind of like so at the end of the Phantom Menace, there's like 4 battles, completely different. It goes back
almost
and
like
forth.
That, or one of those long like epic battles that starts off on a train, then ends off in a boat, and then it goes to like a foot pursuit, you know, something like that. I don't know.
Being in a movie with Matthew Broderick and Janine Garofalo, and being an actor stand-in for Robert Forster and Robert Vaughn. Robert Vaughn was one of the Magnificent Seven, which is an iconic film in history.
Oh yeah.
And Robert Forster's been in Jackie Brown, and you know, me, myself, and Irene, a whole bunch of stuff. So I didn't meet Matthew Broderick and Janine Garofalo, but I met both the Roberts and talked to Robert Forster quite a bit, who's actually from Rochester originally. I didn't know that. And you know, that's a standout thing. Me
and Jason I don't want to say clash, because we didn't clash, but we had a little bit of a headbutt there filming To Release a Soul, because you know, I respect Jason as a working being, as an actor and everything like that, and he's a writer. So when I, you know, you ask a director to take on a piece of writing, the writer has a persona that what the character is supposed to be. And as he told me abruptly and firmly during shooting, I've been studying this character for months, and you know, that's not the way I envisioned it. I mean, I have to sit back and I have to say, okay, well, you know, you're the writer, but I also have to create more illusion.
2 different visions, kind of.
And I think we finally settled, on a good outcome with it. But the only thing I think the trade-off was having the scene move from the bedroom to the kitchen. Well, you know, it's not only that. You have 3 visions. You have my vision, you have Jason's vision, and then you have Chris Burns, the editor's vision.
Yeah.
So each vision is slightly different, but we try to keep good to the source material.
Well, you know what? It was a long day. It was 21 hours of filming. So obviously, you know, naturally, there's going to be a little bit of clashing here.
Well, when we clashed, it was not 21 hours into it.
No. Well, the one was the biggest thing for me is you changed the ending how I wrote it.
Yeah.
And I think you remember that was kind of
that
something
was a big
that
thing,
I was right. None of the dialogue was changed. That was all me.
Yeah, it's all you.
Just kind of how I wrote it and how you did it. But I've come to look back in retrospect and say, okay, you know, you were the director. So.
Yeah.
But that is something that right off the bat I was kind of
I think To Release a Soul is a really interesting piece of art only because of like the arc of the story. You're not really playing off of you like a zombie film. You're playing off the violence, the blood, and all that. And like I said before, when you're a horror director, you're like trying to create a new magic trick. You're a good magician, does a good job creating a horror film. But To Release a Soul, you really take that, because my background is mainly horror. You take that out, and it's like now I have to try and really use my skills to sell a film based off the writing and the suspense of it all. So that's where you came in and were really great for that.
Well, I can say that I'm pretty sure, as far as like my mind being in the character, I think was the most for Cody in To Release a Soul.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Adam remembers, because he was doing his thing with directing, but basically for To Release a Soul, I had earphones on and I would just listen to one song over and over again. And
What song?
Usually pretty. It's called Cradle Song by a band named Tomahawk. It's really interesting because I was riding my truck on the thruway with one of my best friends that I grew up with, known each other since we were like 7 years old. Gone through everything together, and I was playing that song, and this is a couple of years ago, and we could tell each other anything, so I didn't have to worry about being weird. And I think I told him at one point, if I was a serial killer, this would be my theme song.
Oh my God! And then so he had to study the role. So he's like, "This is the theme song for me to be a serial killer."
Yeah, so it's kind of funny how things work out in the end. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
When Jason acts, it's interesting because everything's interesting when it comes to art like this. But when Jason acts, he does it a little differently. Like he studies these lines a little differently. This is at least what I picked up on. You bring up this thing about listening to music. Mm-hmm. That helps contribute to that thought process a little better because, Jason would come up to me when we were filming Ombus, and he's like, "Adam, I kind of see him being a little bit like this. How do you think that would be?" Mm-hmm. When I like to think I'm like an actor's director in a sense, because when I bring an actor aboard, I don't want you to do everything that this is written on paper. I don't want you to do every single thing.
I definitely think you're
by
an
the book.
Director.
He creates the character. I'm just the guy that has to make the film. And if people are going to love or love the character, it's going to be because of the actor. And my position on it is just, if I don't think it's going to follow the story, then I say, "Hey, Jason,
even the gangster roles in Grim Becoming.
Yeah.
Even for that, most of those lines were ad-lib, made up on spot.
Yeah.
There was just a couple of key things where make sure you leave this in there and that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it was all ad-lib.
Yeah, because the structure didn't work for him. And, we changed the scene a little bit, too, because we gave you a shotgun.
Yeah. And
that he didn't have a shotgun in the script. And we're like, we want to use this badass. This is a badass scene that we're doing right here. And there you go. I used to call Jason, and it's funny you get to work with the stunt double of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. I used to call him the Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I still can call you the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
with Ombus.
Yeah, with Ombus. There's a scene where he walks down a hall with the machine gun. You know what scene I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
In the grain elevator. He's just badass looking.
I was called Bruce Willis by Christopher Burns and Arnold by you.
Yeah. I like Arnold better.
I do too.
You got the arms for him, man. Just hopefully when he retires, you don't look like that. My team generally hates me because I say this is, we need to create a foundation for the company that I don't want to have to say, if I want to take a year off from making the film or a film, I have to go through the whole ropes of trying to find distribution again. I want to be able to say, okay, we made another film, let's just find somebody has to be interested in my work because we've been out there and we have distribution, with our other films. And, Not Human, Ombus, which it formerly was, is that stepping stone in the right direction, because once they see that film and what we as a group were able to create, it's only going to help sell Grim Becoming, and all of our future films. So I think it's the horizon is getting nearer, if you will, for us to just start producing these things and getting them out there in worldwide distribution. So.
And Grim, your latest project, is going to be the best one, just for the simple fact that it's being filmed with red.
To be honest, Jason, he was a star of Ombus. We asked him if he'd be interested in a role in Grim, and we also asked him if he would be interested in producing Grim. And you've read the full script, right?
Yeah.
And to have somebody, you get taken back every now and then because this is somebody that believes in a project that you're doing, and he's willing to give you funds to make your film. And you know, that's a huge accomplishment in itself because he believes in you. He believes in what you're doing, and you know, that's so. Thank you.
I am SAG eligible now, which means that if I want to, I could join the Screen Actors Guild.
Or even New York, but I guess Hollywood's where you're led to believe all the magic is happening.
And I'm not getting any younger, so you know.
It's a decision you really have to think about.
Yeah. The only thing really keeping me in Buffalo is my aunt is still alive. It's basically, you know, one of the only family members I have left on my mom's side, and I kind of take care of her. So I'm a very family-oriented guy on my Italian side. So.
Do you necessarily have any qualms with like being Hollywood? Like.
No, you know, I've heard a lot of people who live in LA hate LA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much
that's
truth
all
there
I
is
hear.
to that, but like the big film spots now are basically like Texas, Louisiana, and Georgia, believe it or not.
Yeah, Georgia's getting big. The Atlanta area is huge right now in film because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah. What I should start doing is pursuing roles out of Buffalo while I'm still in Buffalo. To try to get paid roles and try to get plane ticket to fly out to places and stuff like that.
Definitely.
I'll add to that. I mean, just what you're saying out there. I've worked with a lot of LA talent on Grim Becoming, and all of them have said to me that almost 95% of their work is out of LA. So why? I mean, LA is ridiculous with how much it is to live out there. Why put yourself out there as just one of the millions of actors trying to make it in the world when you could be out of Buffalo doing the same thing? You know, for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you can't do the same thing in Buffalo because I mean, let's face it. There's not millions of dollars getting thrown around to make movies.
No, it's true.
You know, that's why I kind of like the Texas and Georgia thing. Kind of interests me a little more because you know you mentioned the actor pool. Well, the actor pool in those areas are a lot smaller than LA, but from what I hear, you have a lot of the same opportunities. So
yeah.
I think that wouldn't be a bad move. One of those.
I've busted my ass trying to create Deftone from the ground up, and I have finally found an area where I am able to make and produce films very cheap. You know, you go to a different state, it's not as good as it is here. We have a lot of connections. I have a big enough staff where if I was to leave, you know, I would have to be taking these people with me, and it has to be economically smart to do it. And I don't think we're there yet, and I don't think we'll be able to get the same type of films that we're doing right now. It's like a big family, as Jason will tell you. I mean, you go to set. I mean, we had parties during filming, after filming, just to kind of keep the morale going.
The parties were fun.
And the parties were fun, and we, you know, when you show up at a set, it's a 24-hour day, or not 24 hours, it's a 16-hour day. You want to be able to at least enjoy your day, you know. So that's that. And then the locations that Buffalo has, is just, and compare it really to any other area. I mean, I'm sure if I went to LA, the permits alone for filming in a location would probably kill us.
Have you ever thought of going out of state to film something?
Well, you know, it's funny. Before we started Grimm, I think it was before we started Grimm, or it was before Ambus, one of them. I think it's before Grimm. I got something from Louisiana, New Orleans area film commission asking me to, if I was willing to go down there and scout locations for my next film, and they would basically chaperone us or help scout us. I never did anything with it, but it was just cool. It's a privilege or accomplishment, I would say, just to have, you know, this being sent to you. You know, that was really cool.
I'm not going to mention names, but there are some people around here that are very good, and you know, very good. And some of them I don't even know. You don't even know because some of them kind of stay out of. They do their own thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I think Adam kind of sticks out because he is actually making movies and coming out with different things. I think more of a rapid pace than a lot of the other guys. So I think that's what kind of sticks out with you.
And we're still trying to do the quality, but like Grimm, we had like a 6-month pre-production. On Ambus, we had a year pre-production. So I'm like, we gotta get, and we shot Grimm in 3 months. We shot Ambus in 6 months. I'm like, we can never shoot another film in 6 months again. I mean, that's. The money alone was just not there.
Well, that was basically all weekend shoots.
Yeah, weekend, right? So yeah.
Oh, I see.
There's a lot. Ambus is really digitally heavy, not digitally, excuse me, effect heavy, and digital counts that. So, yeah. The first time I started, the company didn't have the stability in the sense of the people I have now. I mean, the people I have now are outstanding and they're solid and they're there for the long haul. the people in the beginning, it was really, I don't want to sound bad when I say it, but it was really me trying to manage people to manage the company, if that means anything. And if I'm saying it right.
I understand.
And I'm grateful to those folks for being a part of it. It's just they wanted a different way of how to handle it. I mean, they thought of it as more of a fun thing, and I wanted to make it a business. And
it's hard work.
It's hard. It is very hard to do that type of job. You know, we all want to have fun, but there's ways to do that and still have a successful business at the end of the day. So we've grown dramatically, and as I stated to you before, I think, over 7 years of doing it, finally we've reached that area where we're able to say we have the crew that's going to make the good films. I'm excited to see what the future holds for it.
Is it 7 years? That's how long Def Film's been around?
Well, that's as long as I've been making the film, since 2008. Yeah. I started really the beginning of 2007 for 2008.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you were 21.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. Well, you got your new film you're working on, right?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
It's called Written in Blood, and it's basically a vampire film.
Yeah.
It's a treaty between the Catholic Church and the vampire councils of the world.
And you're trying to find funding for it, right? You did like the 15-minute
teaser
just to try and get funding for it.
Yeah.